Hey guys, Chase Arevalo here, talking to you today from my house in Boca Raton, Florida. All right, so guys, look, in this video, we're gonna talk about the mentality behind creating an online program and what specific deliverables should you be including in your online program, okay? So this is gonna give you a foundation to build your online program, start building it out, what components to include, what you should include, and you should specialize it and make it specific for the actual niche that you're coaching and your ideal client avatar that you want to work with. Okay, and then all the components that I talk about, you can pick and choose and include the most important ones or all of them for your students to include in your own program. Okay, I'm just going to break down for you kind of like what I do and how I help people and what I've had success with. And yeah, if you get some tips from this, I hope that helps. But yeah, I'm just gonna break down kind of certain elements that you can add to have additional value to your online program and make it make sense. Okay. So first thing that I want to talk about is with creating your online program, there's one thing that you need to understand first of all, okay, is going to be you're going to be selling a transformation. Okay, so you're going to sell one transformation. One transformation. One transformation. Okay, you're selling one online program to do a specific thing, right? It's not doing everything. Okay, so understand that concept first. Okay, then the next component is going to be, to keep it super simple, you're going to be programming your students. Okay, you're going to be programming your students their daily action items for when they're not able to see you on court for that 1 hour lesson, 2 hour lesson. But even for the days they are seeing you, there's probably some additional things they can do, right? Maybe there's some systems you can establish to get a better feedback loop for them, right? And we'll talk about some of those things. But yeah, so then you want to have a daily, can't write right now. You're going to have a daily action plan. Okay, so you're going to create an actual action plan with everything that your athlete needs to be doing when they're not seeing you in person, to work on all the concepts, all the themes, and everything that you guys have been working so hard at in person every single day. All right, now we're going to take this off real quick. So that's just like fundamental of like creating the program in terms of like what you're selling, and then like the basics of exactly like what your mentality should be trying to sell them that program, right? It's to help them stay more accountable, and they actually want more support than they're currently getting. Okay, the flaw with kind of the current model is they go pay for their lesson, okay? You can give them the best advice in that hour lesson, but after that hour lesson, there's no system for you, the expert, to continue to support your athlete outside of that. So from the athlete's perspective, they can feel like the coach is kind of checked in, and then after that lesson, checked out completely, and they don't really give a shit about the athlete after the lesson, okay? I faced that as a player, and it sucked. I hated that. I felt a lot of pain from that growing up, okay? So that's why when I started coaching more and focusing on that, that's one thing that I offered to my students for free initially before I learned how to package it and sell it, okay? So the reason why you should be doing an online program is because you're gonna get better results for your athletes, okay? But let's talk about like some of those factors, some of those things you can actually include for them, okay? Keep it super simple for you. So I'm just gonna do some bullet points here. So one thing that you can do is you can provide them a technical analysis review okay? And this can be 1 per week or more, okay? So with a technical analysis review, to make sure that your athletes are continuing to work on all the technical stuff that you programmed for them, I highly recommend at least having 1 review per week and keeping that kind of as a system in your business and online training so that your athletes are being held accountable to do the inputs and actually make the changes that you're telling them to do when you're working on their technique and practice, right? So I recommend having 1 technical analysis review where they're going to be sending you a video, okay? And you're going to be analyzing that and programming them in your custom training plan on exactly what to do, okay? So you can have 1 technical analysis review per week or more, okay? I like to have more, all right? I like to over deliver for my students so that they can get the most out of me and get the most kind of bang for their buck, right? And to work with me like as a coach, like as a tennis player, to have me coach them, like it's not cheap. So, you know, I really only work with the most serious athletes who really want to make those jumps and are willing to do whatever it takes. So I want to offer even more than just 1 per week. But that's kind of like the starting point that you can have if you just want to create kind of a preliminary model, okay? Now, with that, you also want to have a custom training plan, a CTP, a custom training plan, so that they have exact clarity on every single day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, exactly what drills they should be doing, okay? And that's gonna be fed ball, live ball, points, point situation, okay? And you're going to program the exact drills that if you were gonna be there in person with the athlete 7 days a week, what would you do for them, right? If money was no object, they could do unlimited lessons with you. If they could train with you and get the best of the best training from you, what would you program for them? What exact drills, okay? They don't really need to hit with you. They might need a hitting partner, but it doesn't need to be you specifically, especially as the athletes get more advanced, okay? So the custom training plan is going to depend on exactly what you're gonna be programming for your specific niche and your athletes. So I work with serious tournament players, okay? So there's a few things that I like to include in that. So there's fed ball drills if there's anything technical that I want them to work on with their training partners. I also kind of provide them the exact drills that they should be doing to work on anything technical, okay? That's number 1, okay? But besides that, especially with older players, more advanced players, you're gonna wanna program them more specific stuff for live ball drills, okay? And then point play and situations, and work on the exact strategies, all right, that you've been monitoring for them, okay? And that leads me to my next point, which is you should be offering tournament, match, play, review. You should start, if you want to kind of follow what I do and how I help athletes and how I've gotten, you know, pretty good success starting the online business, right? And, you know, helping hundreds of players around the country and the world. This is going to be major for you, especially if you work with serious athletes. Offer a weekly match play review. Weekly. 1 or more. Okay? Depending on how many players you're working with, depending on the ticket of your offer as well, how much you're charging, okay, it can kind of vary. All right? In the past, I've done different deals with people offering different levels of match play review. But for the most serious athletes, I personally like to offer unlimited match play review, okay? Because like as a coach, I think it's kind of a good problem to have if the player is sending me like almost like too much footage and now I gotta like review it, right? Like that's a good thing and I wanna be in that position so that I can serve the athlete and be able to go through all that footage and serve them to the highest level that I can possible, okay? So that's why the tournament match play review is critical, okay? Especially as like a tennis coach, right? I know it's been like a game changer for me. And that kind of separated me from the pack when I was working at like normal academies, like in person, like two of the biggest ones in the world, okay? You definitely know like their names and stuff. And that really separated me because none of the other coaches do that or even thought about like creating a way for them to do that and charge for that. Because I knew when I was younger, I would have paid for that if my coaches would have done it, but there was no opportunity. So what did I do? I created the opportunity. Boom. Okay, now, next thing guys, okay, tournament match play review, that's awesome, right? And then you're gonna have a feedback loop with that, providing them feedback and modifying the custom training plan, okay? Now, we're gonna get rid of this and we're gonna go a little bit more in detail about the custom training plan, okay? So, okay. So, with the custom training plan, what can you offer? Okay, you can offer technical corrections in your specific expertise on how you coach your players to improve their technique. Give them the action items that if you could control everything that they do, what would they do? How could they get that result faster? Program them that here in your technical components of your CTP, of your custom training plan. Okay, now from there, you want to add additional things, right? Like I said, like the actual drills, okay, and maintenance plan for them, all right? And you're eventually gonna be able to kind of create a blueprint of kind of like how you can start, okay? So basically when you're starting, to keep it simple, if you have no kind of idea what to do, just think about like what the concept I broke down where you're programming anything that you think they need, you're gonna literally program that for them for the whole week, day by day, exactly what drills they're gonna do, okay? Now, once you kind of get past that level, there's a few other things you can help them with. One, which is nutrition, info, one, plus implementation. So you're gonna help them with the nutritional component, but there's two parts. There's the information and then there's the implementation, okay? So I want you to focus on giving them the right information, okay, of what to eat, how to eat, all of that good stuff, you know, how much protein should they be having for their specific body, all right? And if you're not an expert, that's okay. Either consult with an expert or do some research and learn about this stuff, all right? If you're a really good coach, you probably have a good idea, not only for working on yourself, but also with your athletes, right? With your probably hundreds of athletes that you've already helped, okay? So once you kind of give them the right information, you can take a look at what they do every single day for a week or two and then modify that and kind of give them something custom that you build for them where now they can take that, apply it into their own schedule, okay? But then from there, you're gonna wanna help them with implementation, okay? And having them track certain things to make sure that they're accountable, okay? So that's tracking, like for some athletes, it might be even tracking their meals, like kind of religiously almost, right? Until they get consistent with it, okay? But that's gonna depend on the exact athlete and kind of the niche that you're in specifically. So that's just one component. So that's nutrition. Okay, the next is gonna be fitness, okay? And the physical components of their plan, all right? So one foundational thing that I believe you should include into your plan, is what I do for my athletes, is I include a lot of jump rope. One of the most high leverage ways to improve your footwork, I would argue it's the highest leverage way to improve your footwork, especially with an athlete who is maybe not that serious, but wants to make that jump to become more serious, okay? So it's not only the physical stuff that it does, but it's also gonna help the mentality, because a strong body cultivates a strong mind, all right? So if your athlete is, you know, not a top tier player, most likely they have room to improve with discipline, with focus, So what I recommend is do jump rope training, okay? I like to program about 1,000 per day for my athletes. Feel free to steal that, apply that into your own business, okay? See how it works for your own athletes. See the type of person they become after a few weeks of doing that, a few months of doing that. Reach back out to me, tell me the results. It's gonna be crazy. So jump rope is critical. Okay, I'm a big believer in that, but you're the expert for your students. So program what you value, what you think, and you know will get them the best results. Okay, I'm still learning, right? This is a continuous journey, becoming the best coach that you can be possible. So you got to have that learning mindset, right? You never know everything, right? You always can get better. You always can learn to improve, modify, and your training plans will be a living, breathing document, okay, that you can modify, adjust, based on what you see in their tournament footage, okay? So, jump rope, great. That's a component in the fitness plan, physical plan. Here, you can do a lot of things. You can do weights. What type of weights should they be doing? Okay. What type of stretching routine should they be doing? What type of warm-up protocol before their practices, before their matches, and kind of break that down for them. All right. And then from there, you can add a few other things, right? Like, let's see, like, what other things you could add there. One thing that I like to implement, like with my own program, is mindset. Okay. So I'm a huge believer in doing whatever it takes to not only help the player become better, like with their strokes and become a better athlete, but after they work with me, they should be basically kind of like a different person, right? They should be more disciplined. They should have better serving beliefs that are going to help them achieve their goals better, right, and faster, okay? And you basically want to turn your athlete into the person who deserves their goals, right? They want to play D1, great. What's the work that someone who deserves to play D1 does? And is the athlete doing it? Okay, they're not. How can we get them to be on track for that? Okay, you got to be asking the right questions so you can have the right answers. Okay, so mindset, very important. A lot of the physical stuff that you can program can help with the mindset. Okay, but I like to program certain things like ice bath purely for mental benefits. There are arguable physical benefits, okay? But it could kind of be more placebo for the physical benefits. If anything, there's actually literature to support that it might even hinder recovery if you're doing a lot of ice baths, okay? Especially kind of overboarding it and overloading it. But from like a kind of beginner standpoint, I believe that cold immersion is a great way to work on your mentality. And it's the most simple way to do something that sucks, that is not fun to do, but that's why you're doing it. Because you gotta be disciplined, you gotta train that muscle, and especially in today's world, not sure about you guys, but a lot of the athletes that I work with, they might come from a certain background where, like, you know, money's never been an issue, right? And maybe they don't have a lot of hardships in their day-to-day life. So as the coach, it's your job, it's your responsibility to program them stuff to make their life, for lack of better terms, more difficult, okay? And it's not just to make it more difficult. Obviously, like, you want to make sure you're programming the right things, but a component of it needs to be, just because it's difficult and it's a challenge for the student specifically, for them. Not for everyone, but for them specifically. And you have to know your athlete so that you can program the right things for them, okay? Because there's a lot of stuff you can program, but it's like, okay, well, what drills are you doing? What fitness plan are you doing? What jump rope routine are you doing? What daily actions are you doing for your mindset? Are you practicing your journaling? Are you? Maybe. Are your students doing that as a part of your program? Or are they just doing that because you tell them that randomly every other day or whatever, right? Make sure it's a protocol, okay? I'm a believer in, I was just learning this recently actually, which is like, blame the protocol first. Don't go to blame the person first, right? So like, for example, earlier today, I'm actually shooting this like midday right now, in between. I have a tournament service day right now for one of my students who their family flew in to Boca Raton to do some tournaments and train with me and stuff. So yeah, we actually had like matches this morning, and we're gonna go back out there later for his doubles. Shoot, what was I saying? It's okay, I'll remember. But what was I talking about? Journaling. Oh yeah. So like for the athletes, when it comes to like journaling, you should be kind of making it like a system, right? And making that like a component consistently that they're doing. And with the journaling, you can help them with a few things. Like I recommend gratitude, especially for those athletes, right? And yeah, gratitude and perspective. Those are kind of the main things that I like to focus on. Oh yeah, last thing is identity. Identity, okay? But yeah, so yeah, what was I gonna say though? I was gonna say something very valuable, very impactful. I'll remember it, it's okay. But, okay, so let's see, what other components can you put into the custom training plan, all right? So, you got your physical stuff, you got your mindset stuff, you got your nutrition plans, okay? And how I like to do it is I like to create a program for them written down specific with the action plans so they could have something concrete with them, okay? And then you can do some more advanced things like build out video modules for your students, all right? And like one kind of principle that I have is once a student or once a client kind of is repetitive with a certain type of question, okay, and a client or a player asks a question twice, what you should do is, you know you're gonna get asked that again for maybe another player, another client, whatever. So another parent, whoever. So what you need to do is, you should create a video answering that exact question and then putting it into your course. I hope this is in frame. All right, but you're gonna put that into your course. All right, so this course is gonna be built out as you're working with athletes online, as you're building out your program. And what I recommend is once you're working with like 1 to 5 athletes, okay, initially you wanna make everything 1000% custom for the individual, right? So when you're starting, you're gonna say, okay, I'm working with Johnny over here. I'm gonna literally write out this whole plan from scratch, exactly what I think he should do, okay? Once you deliver for a few clients, like at least like 1 to 5 clients, and really kind of serve more than 5 clients with your program and customizing it for everyone, then what you can do is you can create a first version of your blueprint, okay? So what I want you to do is create a blueprint program, and you can even do this if you've already served a lot of clients just in person, because you've already helped out like a ton of people and you know what gets results for your students. You just did it in person, right? So I recommend making a blueprint from what you've kind of done in person, but you'll probably want to modify a few things when you start transitioning more fully online, okay? But you'll kind of learn that as you go. But yeah, so like when it comes to that, I want you to make sure. Okay, so we talked about the program. We talked about building out your program. All right, the different components. But the first thing you want to do is build out the blueprint. Blueprint for 5 clients. Okay? 5 clients, custom, do it for them custom, and then 1.0 blueprint. Okay? Now, eventually, once you create this first blueprint, all right, what you can do is you're going to start to figure out that with your athletes, there's going to be what we call the 80, 20 principal. Okay? Which means that there's probably about 80% of their programming that a lot of your athletes are doing and need to do some of the same stuff based on your coaching methodology, right? There's probably certain things, maybe on the serve, maybe on the jump rope, right? Maybe certain things you have that are foundational that most of your athletes are going to apply. So that would be the 80. The 20 is going to be the customization, okay? So this is going to be systematized, okay? But you want to have this be addition 80 plus 20. So then this is going to be the recipe for a great program. So you're going to do the 80 that you know works for them, and then you're going to customize the 20% that is individual for them based on what you see in their tournaments, based on what they're sending you in their footage, based on how you're communicating with them, all right? And yeah, I mean, a few other things that like you should know is that like you should host weekly calls, and you can do one-on-one. And then as you get more people and more students into your program, and depending on the tickets of your program as well, and like kind of the clients you're going after, you can also eventually go to a group coaching model, okay? Where you have 1 or 2 group coaching calls per week, where you can merge all your students in your community and start building that community effect. So they can support each other, have some peer-to-peer feedback as well, and they're able to engage with people who are on the same journey as them, which is really important as well, okay? So these are like some of the main things that like I would focus on if I was starting from ground zero, trying to build up my online program, okay? So let me know if that helps, guys. And yeah, let me see if there's anything else that I can think of right now that can provide some good value for you. I think that's really everything for right now, but I'll be sure to cook up some more videos for you guys and make sure that you're getting the best content possible. And yeah, if there's anything else that I can do to help you guys out, like get this started and get the ball rolling for you, be happy to help, okay? So hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I truly believe in you, and I know what you can do with your business and with your life, and I know you're ready to make that change, all right? So look, if you want some help from me, let me know. Send me a DM. I'd be happy to take a look and see if we could help you scale your business and see if you can add that online revenue stream to your already great in-person model, right? Because you're a great coach. You've already been helping a ton of athletes. You probably served, hundreds of athletes already as well. So you're a good coach. You've already been getting paid, 6 figures for your services, right? But it's like, do I want to be on court slaving away for 12 hours a day the rest of my life? I realized at 21, I didn't want to do that, right? Fast forward, I'm 23 now, almost 24, and online training has been transformational for my life and my lifestyle and my time and financial freedom, okay? So I've been able to, for example, this house I'm in right now, I've been able to buy this house literally from the money I made with online training, okay? So I know how it's transformed my life. That's why I'm so passionate about helping you guys get the same transformation that I did, okay? So you can spend more time with your family and also make some more money while making a bigger impact and serving more athletes, okay? So that we can really help the tennis world become the best possible, okay? And get tennis to spread even more and grow the sport, right? I don't know about you, but I love tennis. I love racket sports, and I want it to be the biggest thing in the world, okay? So if you're anything like me and you want that, hit the subscribe button, drop a comment, drop a question, I'll answer it. And yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Great talking to you today, guys. Take care.